So we explored working directly with just highlights. Today we'll do the flip, which is in many ways sort of the normal thought process of, the way we draw, but just working with shadows. But I want also to, in a difference, the difference being that we tend to work with lines, and here we're going to work with shape and grouping of shadow shapes, okay? So I'm using, it's either burnt umber or sepia or whatever, but a dark. And just to review as well, um, the use of pressure here is if I push on this and I'm on the tip of the diamond, if I push toward the front, I get the hard edge, the soft edge on the back. And then I can reverse that and get hard edge and a soft edge. So I'm going to break this and pull this down, and we begin. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit. So again, the more you work with these, the more, the more practice you have, the more adept you'll become at working that pitch and yaw for the hard edge, soft edge, flip. So you can see already I am not getting the head right. Okay. And again, these don't have to be perfect. I'm certainly not looking for perfect. I just want to learn more about that contour edge, the silhouette mass. So what I've done is draw the top of the head and followed the body all the way down to the foot, to the heel. Now I can come in and put the other leg in. And so again, what I have done over the years is train my hand and my hand to see and feel what my eye is seeing, to be able to put it down as succinctly as possible. So now I can come back up here, and we know the ear is in here. And there's these sort of where the neck, shoulders connect. And we're putting the outside of the arm. I'm not that worried necessarily about the head itself. I'm just going to make a shape. All right. And now I want to do the back of that arm. Oh, that's pretty. There's a little better. And now coming in and catching the breast. And we see that the rib cage cuts in here. And then those muscles that I don't know the names of, but I know what I'm seeing. And I can play with I'm going to just hit a little soft here, just for goofs. And then we can see that spine cutting in over here. And there is a core shadow that runs through here. It's not that I need to delineate it. I just need to sort of indicate its presence. So now I could come in if I wanted and like put in a little bit of a nose and finish off this leg. So what I'm doing is I'm going to bring this down a bit. Again, these are so good at imitating light, emulating light. They can be as soft, as subtle as you wish, or as bold as you want. But I do want to reiterate, just because I went through hell this morning, I want to reiterate the new pastel tax. They've got that plastic covering on them, and you will end up at times destroying half your sticks just to get their stupid barcode for all the retailers off the stick. It's a great ploy because you're going to end up having to buy more because you destroy half of it. But it is a superior product in my mind, which is why I keep coming back for more. And then you can see this shape underneath here of the other arm. And just a little touch of fingers up here, which I could effectively leave off, honestly, and you would never know. So then just sort of an indication of ribs. And if I squint, like I drew this backbone in, but if I squint, you know, that goes away. It's good to know it's there. So there's our first hit of the day. So silhouette is vital, and working with just shadow and trying not to use line. What I keep trying to do in a lot of these, and even though, you know, there are subtle touches of what we think of as line, what you really want to think about is shape and value. Those are the most important elements, shape and value. If you get light shapes correct, shadow shapes correct, they're like puzzle pieces and they create a complete picture. Everybody gets so caught up in outlining things, but if you get the values right, put them in the right spots, you will get what you have been looking for. Okay. one down. And we're not going to do as many of the shadow pieces, again, because it's pretty sort of standard drawing procedure in a way, you know, with a dark line or a dark drawing device, as opposed to working just lights. But it is a great exercise for you to do to get familiar with and sort of, where did I put that stick now? To get comfortable with just working with shape and shadow, right? Shadow, shapes, and gesture. So just gonna make a shape of a head like I did last time. Shape, shape. I'm not pushing it out enough, but we'll live with it. That forearm cutting in. And that's, you know, and if you get the shapes, the angles correct, it all falls into place. That's a weird shaped head, but we'll live with it. Okay. So there's another. And I hope you notice, like as I'm working, I'm using the pastel as a chisel. It's a directional chisel uh, where the muscles and the joints, some of the, for edge and direction of the stroke. Let's see. Let's play with this one because we did this one with highlights, and it'll be interesting to see the difference with shadow. So again, I'm gonna draw a head. Need a new stick. Losing my edge. Literally losing my edge. Should have started higher. Okay. So let me go to, whoops. Let's see what else we got here real quick. This isn't bad. This is, oops. Because of the masses here, we can So what we're really interested in is doing the hard squint and seeing how these elements, if they can be, how they are grouping together in shadow. And it's just being sensitive to the changes you can see with your eyes. And look at the pool of light off this shoulder here. Gorgeous stuff. So I'm just going to be doing the shadow, sorry. Boy, he can be a lot. That needs to be way out here. And so what this will will help, this will help your, obviously it'll help your drawing skills, but it will also help your painting skills big time, because it's all about shape and mass, and it's pure design. And it's just about really seeing. I have a little core shadow in here. Hint of the belly button. Anyway, so this is just a great practice if you're drawing, especially if you're drawing from life, because what's happening is like, I find myself being really finicky here, and in an actual life drawing situation, I don't have time to be finicky. We have, set times on everything. And the model is shifting positions, so I'm having to make adjustments and be on my toes in a different way than here. I'm like, oh wow, wow, I've got time, I can study, I can get down on it and whatever. And in life drawing, you're having to, one, really live with with the lines you're putting down, the mistakes you're doing, the positive things you're doing, but you're having to you're having to make hay and get them out. You'll see, there'll be a section here in the course where I show pastels done from life, and the light highlight things that I showed earlier in the course were done from life, and it's just a whole different thing. And it's also, drawing from life is the most beneficial thing you can do. You can't get enough. You will never get enough of it. I love that I teach full time, because I get to draw all the time from life, and I take that back into the studio with me when I'm working from my photo reference and all that stuff. It's indispensable. You have to have it. Work these two things, right? Working with just highlights, work with just shadow, and really do the hard squint when you're working from life and when you're working from your photo reference. If you work from photo reference, because it pulls values closer together, it groups, it does shape welding for you, and you get to really see how nature designs and how you, as an editor, are the ultimate arbiter on that. So you have to step in and say, okay, well, are things getting sort of disjointed and lost? And when I think about what's going on here, yeah, I could deepen all of this, and what it does is it simplifies the heck out of it and allows the eye to travel even more, and that's what I'm after. I want the eye to move and follow and go where I want it to go, so even here, this could be deeper, a bigger hit. And see how that draws the eye in there? Yeah. Eye trips and eye traps, as Baron Story, my teacher, would say. And I can, and we haven't gotten into talking about edges and things like that, but here's a core shadow running down through here, and I could soften all that, which lets the eye travel a little more, I could do, you can see a little, little highlight coming off that. That's pretty fun. This comes down. There's just, I mean, you can just sit here. I can sit here and noodle forever. But it's all about those eye trips and eye traps and like simplifying. Nature is indiscriminate about where it's throwing light. I mean, there's a logic to it, obviously, but your job in a picture is to harness that, and you tell us where to look. That's your job. And it's not always an easy one.